Stop your cattle losing 2 pounds per day. This video covers the 3 essential fixes to combat summer heat stress. Your cattle could be losing 2 pounds per animal every single hot day, not because of disease or poor feed, but because summer heat is silently shutting down their biology. In the next 10 minutes, you'll learn the exact heat stress threshold where weight loss begins, the feeding adjustment that recovers up to 40% of performance loss, and critical water, electrolyte, and shade calculations. Researchers use the temperature-humidity index, or THI, to define comfort zones and danger zones for cattle. This is what makes heat stress dangerous. The cattle may look calm, but inside the animal, elevated respiration, increased body temperature, and reduced rumen activity show the biology is collapsing. Once cattle cross the dangerous THI thresholds, feed intake drops, rumen efficiency falls, and energy that should build muscle gets diverted into survival. Fix number 1 costs almost nothing. Feed later. Digestion creates metabolic heat, and midday feeding only worsens the internal heat load. Evening feeding aligns feed intake with cooler temperatures, which minimizes the total heat load on the animal. Many operations recover 30 to 40% of lost summer performance simply by shifting the main ration toward evening hours. But feeding time alone won't save cattle if this next problem is happening. Heat-stressed cattle don't just need more water, they need access to water fast enough to match doubled demand. Water intake can double in extreme heat, and warm, stagnant water drastically reduces consumption. Clean, fast-flowing water is non-negotiable. Electrolytes like sodium, potassium, and magnesium support hydration and rumen stability. Without replacement for increased losses, feed intake often collapses. And then comes the mistake almost every farm underestimates: the shade math disaster. Most farms technically provide shade, but biologically, there still isn't enough. Dominant animals monopolize shade, and overcrowded shade traps heat. Airflow matters as much as cover for effective cooling. The general recommendation is roughly 20 to 40 square feet of shade per animal, depending on climate and size. Too little shade doesn't reduce heat stress, it concentrates it. The financial calculation is shocking. 100 steers losing 1.8 pounds a day for 70 heat stress days means over 12,000 pounds of lost gain from heat alone. Advanced feeding is necessary. You must reduce excessive fiber heat load and maintain energy density carefully. The goal isn't feeding less, it's producing less internal heat while maintaining performance. Rumen health is fragile during heat stress. Protect it and avoid sudden ration changes that could further destabilize their biology. Some producers lose cattle in summer without realizing heat stress began damaging performance weeks earlier. The losses start long before death. At the beginning of this video, I told you cattle can lose 2 pounds per day in summer heat. Now you know the terrifying part. Most farms never notice it happening.